name is Tamika Keenan-Norman. I'm Public Affairs Manager for the City of Rocky Mount, and I'm pleased to be your mistress of ceremonies today for our Arbor Day celebration. And as you can see from the program, we have got a lot of great stuff going on. We have our Rocky Mount High School choir who's here. Where's that energy? Okay. We've got students from Baskerville Elementary School that's here today. We're going to have a tree planting a little later. For the very first time this year, we're going to recognize our Arbor Day kids. Energy? All right. And we're also going to have a bunch of award presentations and recognition as well. And for events like this, I like to call them edutaining. Anybody ever heard of that word? Because they're educational and entertaining at the same time, right? So we want to have some fun today, but we want to learn something as well. So our first person up, I want to introduce your mayor, our mayor, David Combs. He's going to give us the welcome today.
Thank you, Tamika. And for those that don't know, Tamika just won some awards. She's our public information director, and she's won some state awards, and we want to congratulate her for that. We're glad to be here today. I should have taken a note out of Rich Warsinger's book and worn a hat today. It's sunny, and when you look like I do, you need a hat. But I'm David Combs, Mayor of the City of Rocky Mount, and I want to welcome everyone here. We've got a couple of special people here that we've already planted some trees, I believe, that came out of their yard. Our former city clerk, Gene Bailey, thank you for being here. And Peter Varney and his wife Lynn are here. We also took a tree out of their yard and planted it at our tree park, so glad to have you here as well. We come here today to the Roscoe A. Batts Junior Village Apartments and to celebrate a tradition that's been in the United States since 1872. We're going to be participating in tree planting to add to the thousands of trees that the City of Rocky Mount has either planted or given away this year. And as we do this, we have a lot of songs and dancing, and in the past we've had if you want energy, Tamika, there it is right there. There's a lot of energy right there, and so in the past we've had some great performances. And again, that is to help us celebrate the main purpose of the holiday, the planting and caring for trees in our community. On Arbor Day, individuals, civic organizations, and groups of every kind are encouraged to plant trees. And this ceremony gives us the opportunity here in Rocky Mount to express our sincere appreciation for the importance and usefulness of trees to our city. First off, I'd like to recognize the members of our Tree Advisory Board, which some of these have been serving for many, many years, and we want to thank them for their service. Mrs. Doris Cooper, thank you. Miss Ann Wilgus, I don't believe is she here? No. Mrs. Linda Tippett. Linda, thank you. Mrs. Linda Bittner. Don't believe she's here. Mrs. Dakota Sharp. Thank you, Dakota. Mrs. Patricia Sherman. Don't believe she's here. And Mr. Peter Gillian. Thank you, Peter. We appreciate all of you being here today. We thank our tree committee for what they do. And we're particularly glad to be able to plant three trees here today, which include a red maple, a crepe myrtle, and a Carolina silver bell. I don't know that I've ever heard of that one, but maybe that's a special one. It's our hope that over the years, as these trees grow into maturity, they will provide the residents here, their guests and employees and passerbys with a sense of added beauty and will be a reminder of how beneficial trees are to all of us. And again, I've mentioned this before, if you go to other parts of the United States, out into the Midwest, you don't see as many trees and as much greenery as you do in our part of the country. And anytime I travel and I'm coming back to North Carolina from other parts of the country that are not as green as ours, I always enjoy flying over and starting to see the trees that we have here in North Carolina. So on behalf of the City of Rocky Mount, thank you all for being here today. And I'm going to, in advance, thank our students for coming out and entertaining us. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Combs. And I know he made some recognitions. I'd also like to recognize all of the staff members who are here today from the City of Rocky Mount. If you just want to wave your hand. Thank you for being here. Also, Councilmember Lamont Wiggins, who's up front, he's going to be on the program a little later on today, but thank you for being here as well. I do want to welcome, before we have a performance from the Baskerville Elementary School students who are standing, and I know you all are ready for your song and dance performance, but before that, I'd like to welcome Reverend Peter Gilliland with the City of Rocky Mount Tree Advisory Board. He's going to give us our prayer for today.
Good morning. Would you join me in prayer? Almighty God, King of the universe, we glorify you and bless you this day because you are King and God, and you are worthy of all praise and honor and glory. And we thank you for the privilege of being here openly and freely today. We thank you for the blessings of liberty with which you have endowed us. We thank you this day for this gorgeous weather. And we thank you that you have given us the opportunity to be stewards of your nature. And Lord, we thank you for this opportunity on Arbor Day to participate corporately in recognizing our dependence on you and your provision for us for something as simple as oxygen and beauty. Thank you. In the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, amen.
Mayor David comes back to the stage. He's going to read our proclamation, which will be received by Joe Copeland. He's the Director of Maintenance Asset Management for the Rocky Mount Housing Authority. And a little later on, we'll hear from Rocky Mount High School.
Well, there's a lot of high energy there, and it needs to come with a disclaimer, don't try it at home. But there's always one or two that got all the moves, so they did a great job. And just on behalf of the City of Rocky Mount, we always make a proclamation for our Arbor Day, and this is very simple. It just says, City of Rocky Mount, North Carolina, proclamation, April 4th, 2014, is hereby designated as Arbor Day in the City of Rocky Mount, and its observance is commended to our citizens. So at this time, I'd ask Joe to come up and receive this from the City of Rocky Mount, and thank all of you that work in our area to preserve and help us with our trees here in Rocky Mount, and we want to thank our utility department does a great job with that, so thank you, Rich, and all your staff. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Joe Copeland, once again. Also, right now, I'd like to welcome Linda Tippett to the stage from the Tree Advisory Board. She's going to make a historic tree presentation to, I like to consider them my friends and mentors because they've made a huge mark on the city of Rocky Mount, and you'll see why. Ms. Jean Bailey and Mr. Peter Varney.
The Tree Advisory Board is honored to have transplanted trees from the residence of former City Clerk Jean Bailey and former Assistant City Manager Peter Varney in the city's historic tree park. They both have chosen Japanese red maples, and the Tree Advisory Board would like to present Ms. Bailey and Mr. Varney with a plaque recognizing their trees and their work for the city of Rocky Mount. Ms. Bailey and Mr. Varney, will you please come forward? Uh-oh. There's the music. I guess. There's your plaque.
Right.
Come on up, Peter.
How you want us?
You're zigging and zagging. There's yours. Let's give them a big hand.
Thank you, ma'am.
That's it.
I'd just like to recognize that Miss Jean Bailey was with the city of Rocky Mount for about 38 years. She was previously the city clerk, and Mr. Varney was there for 41 years. He was assistant city manager. Isn't that amazing? So now you see why I say that they made a huge mark on the city of Rocky Mount. And I know they get tired of me because I call them and say, hey, do you know this answer? They're pretty much like walking historians. They know everything about the city. But right now I'd like to welcome back to the stage Reverend Peter Gilliland. He's going to recognize the participants of the Arbor Day Kids program, which they're taught about the importance of planting trees.
Hello again. The Tree Advisory Board did something different this year. As part of our recognition of Arbor Day and bringing participation from the city and the people which make up the city, we instituted this Arbor Day Kids thing this year, and we invited the different schools in the area, Nash Rocky Mount, as well as the private and home schools, to participate in planting trees in either on the school property or some other public property. And we had 3 schools that responded. They had to choose the right tree and a right place to plant it. They had to come up with a plan to maintain these trees. And so these 3, we had 3 schools, Rocky Mount Preparatory School, Benvenue Elementary, and Faith Christian School, that participated in this program. And we just really appreciated that and enjoyed our participation with the students and staff of these schools in planting these trees. We planted a total of 11 trees. And this time we want to recognize each of these schools for their participation. And if a representative, in fact, the members, the students and faculty of these schools, if you're here, Rocky Mount Prep, Benvenue, and Faith Christian. If you'd come on up here, I'd appreciate it. You can come on up, come on. I think Benvenue was not able to be with us today, but we're pleased to have these other folks. Okay, who's Rocky Mount Prep? You're at Rocky Mount Prep, and that would make you Faith Christian. Hey guys, a little better weather than the last time I saw you. Yeah. Well, we certainly appreciate this and appreciate your participation. And every time you go out those doors and you look at those trees that you've got, that you'll remember what you did. And in years to come, you can bring your kids back and look at those trees and say, we planted that. And just remember, you can plant trees at your own house too. So thank you so much. Let's have a hand for these folks. Yeah, come on up here, guys. Come on over. come on over here so we can have a picture of all of you. Get where you can see the camera so he can see you. You can come on in here too.
Oh, no, I'm
Thank you.
You all can do better than that. Give it up for the Arbor Day kids one more time. And also for our tree advisory board members for coming up with a program like that this year. I think that was excellent. Right now, I do want to welcome Nash County Ranger Bill Lewis. He's going to recognize us for an award that we've been getting for quite some time now. The City of Rocky Mount for the 2014 Tree City USA and Tree Line USA Awards.
Thank you, Mr. Mika. You know, you spoke about the kids. Everybody's going to mention the kids, right? Well, all of us can dance some. A little bit. But let me tell you something. When you start rolling around on that surface, that's a total commitment. That's not playing around. So that's serious. Enjoy that. I had somebody beg me whether he could come today, and I'll try to keep him in the woods because we're having a little fire hazard today. But I let him come anyway, and I want to introduce you to Smokey the Bear. He's here with us today also. And he'll be around the rest of the afternoon with you so the kids can come up and give him a hug or whatever you want. That'd be great. Get to know Smokey. Now, here's my feeble attempt at entertainment. All right, kids, here's some Arbor Day jokes. This is for you kids. Why was the pine tree sent to its room? Because it was being naughty. Oh, great. All right, adult laughter. I love it. How about this? Son, why did you plant a board and nails on Arbor Day? I was trying to grow a tree house. I'm encouraged here. Why was the tree drooling? It was a dogwood. Yeah. And the pain will end on this one. What do you call a whole day of planting trees? Arbor Day. Yes. Now, it's not boring to plant a few, but if you spend all day planting trees, and that's what we do in the woods with our tree planting contractors, they plant thousands of trees a day. We've got individuals that plant 4,000 and 5,000 trees a day. And this is in a woodland setting, and usually it's just pine trees. But that just gives you an idea of what Arbor Day is all about. And I love coming to the city and appreciate the opportunity to present these awards. Trees are special. I always like to make a comment other than just reading a speech. And there's a whole lot of reasons that trees are special. We know, even from the Bible, in Genesis, the two most famous trees were the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Okay, we know about those trees. But there's another mention of trees, or several, but the one that I like the best, the trees of righteousness. Now, the biblical reference to trees of righteousness does not mean a tree thinks it's special. It means that a tree is steadfast and does never sway from the truth of itself. It does not think it's better than a shrub or better than grass. But a tree in its righteousness or in its steadfastness is a commemoration to how we need to live our life and believe in truth and stand for that. And that's what the City of Rocky Mount has done in these multiple years of awards. There's steadfastness to this. It is not automatic that you get next year's award because you got one for the past 11. You still have to do things. You have to stay steadfast in your deliverance of the program. And I'll read the speech, and that'll give you a little bit more information about what that's about. So I'd like to present the Tree City USA Award, and that, for Tree City, yes, come up if you would. And I'll read that. Thank you, ma'am. And let me just let you know what has been going on in the city of Rocky Mount in regards to serving these awards. This is the Arbor Day speech, okay? It's a pleasure to be here with you today to celebrate Arbor Day, to present the City of Rocky Mount with its 11th Tree City Award. Rocky Mount is one of 78 cities and towns in North Carolina and one of over 3,400 in the nation to receive this recognition. Tree City USA began in 1976 bicentennial project sponsored by the National Association of State Foresters and the USDA Forest Service. The National League of Cities and U.S. Conference of Mayors are now co-sponsors as well. The Tree City USA program is a partnership between the North Carolina Forest Service and the National Arbor Day Foundation. Awards are presented annually to cities and towns that demonstrate a commitment to making their communities more livable by planting and caring for trees. This is what the city and town must do. Have a public tree ordinance establishing policies for street and park trees, a tree board, and a city department responsible for the care and management of the community's trees, a community forestry program with an annual expenditure of at least $2 per capita, an annual Arbor Day celebration and proclamation to celebrate trees and to the many benefits that the trees provide to the city. Today's celebration qualifies the city for next year's award should they follow through on all the other commitments. For a community forestry program to be effective, it takes the support and commitment from the entire community. In Rocky Mount, the community forestry program thrives because of the combined dedication of the tree board members, the city staff, elected officials, the business community, homeowners, and all the residents who take pride in improving the quality of life in Rocky Mount through environmental stewardship. On behalf of the National Arbor Day Foundation and the North Carolina Forest Service, I'm proud to present Rocky Mount with your 11th Tree City USA Award. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you very much. And Rocky Mount is so active in its tree interest that it actually receives 2 tree awards for the year. And this is the Tree Line USA Award. Alan, if you come up, and let me read that to you what that's about. And this is exceptional. This always gets my attention on not above the other one, but this is going the extra mile and being extremely steadfast in your commitment. The Tree Line USA Award, here's what this is about. The City of Rocky Mount Utilities Department is also being recognized with its 7th Tree Line USA Award. The City of Rocky Mount Utility Department is one of 2 utilities in North Carolina. That's all. One of 2 that received this award this year. And 152 in the nation. One of 152 in the whole country that our utilities department has done this, and no one has done it quite as consistently as Rocky Mount. The Tree Line USA program is sponsored by the Arbor Day Foundation in cooperation with the National Association of State Foresters and recognizes public and private utilities across the nation that demonstrate practices that protect and enhance America's urban forests. Trees and utility service lines are integral parts of every community. By necessity, they must coexist in close proximity, and each in its own way is essential to our high standard of living. The Tree Line USA program promotes the dual goals of dependable utility service and abundant, healthy trees in America's communities. To meet these goals, criteria have been developed that highlight for the consumer public as well as utility workers key practices that need to be followed. This is what they do. Quality tree care, which incorporates proper pruning methods such as avoiding tree topping and proper trenching and tunneling methods to reduce the destruction of tree roots. Annual worker training program on following proper pruning and trenching and tunneling practices. Tree planting and public education programs in which the utility expends at least 10 cents per customer on tree planting and distributes educational information on trees to all customers. A tree-based energy conservation program which makes special consideration of the value of trees in conserving energy, and an Arbor Day celebration is this. The North Carolina Forest Service publicly recognizes utilities that meet these requirements for their contribution to better community forests. This recognition serves not only as an award to the conscientious employees who make it possible, it also makes a statement to the community at large about cooperation, goodwill, and the need for continuous tree care. On behalf of the Arbor Day Foundation and the North Carolina Forest Service, I am proud to present the City of Rocky Mount Utilities Department with your 7th Tree Line USA Award. Hold it. There we go. Thank you. Yes, thank you. And I just want to thank the city and the communities for your steadfastness in standing by this program. Thank you.
Congratulations once again to Tree Advisory Board members, Alan Richardson for those awards. Richard Warsinger is also here from our Utilities Department. I know you're all smiles, but that's amazing. 11 years and 7 years. That is a job well done, very deserving. Bill, I will say on another note, I had no idea you were a comedian. So great thing, never ever quit your day job though. How about that? I'm just playing, Bill. But at any rate, our first time ever this year, we have a high school student speaker, Rocky Mount High School's Sam Lilly is going to come up here today and deliver our speech. Now, just to let you know a little bit about Sam, Sam is a member of the International Baccalaureate Program. He's also an Eagle Scout, which is the highest rank attainable in the Boy Scout of America program, so that's a big honor. He's an avid outdoorsman and an environmentalist as well, so we're looking forward to hear his speech today. So Sam Lilly from Rocky Mount High School, where are you? Come on up, Sam. See, your comrades over here, they're ready for you.
Hello. I'd like to thank you for allowing me to represent my school and community in such a manner. It's quite an honor. We gathered this morning to celebrate the value of various types of trees throughout our community, as well as many other communities across the nation. As you heard in the proclamation, the idea to designate a day to honor trees was originally conceived by J. Sterling Morton. In January of 1872, he proposed a tree planting holiday called Arbor Day. On April 1872, his dream became a reality when Nebraska became the first state to formally celebrate Arbor Day. Today, Arbor Day allows us the opportunity to educate people about the value of tree resources, the importance of sustainable tree management, and also engage individuals and organizations in advancing tree planting and care. Participation in tree conservation and preservation allows our community to take pride in our public image, as well as promote a more alert attitude and care towards already existing trees around the community. The three types of trees that were chosen for this year's celebration are the red maple, the Muskogee crepe myrtle, and the Carolina silverbell. The red maple grows 40 to 60 feet high and has a spread of up to 40 feet. The tree blooms from winter to spring, and the leaves of the tree emerge as red tinge, which later turn to dark green and then a beautiful yellow to red color in the fall. The flowers are oftentimes a dense red as well. The smooth, light gray bark of younger trees often becomes darker and scaly with age in a mature tree. The Muskogee crepe myrtle grows 20 to 25 feet high and has a spread of 15 to 25 feet. This tree blooms in the spring and summer and displays a beautiful lavender flower that is a perfect touch for many landscaping projects. The tree is also characterized by an exfoliating bark that is light tan to gray in color. The Carolina silverbell grows 30 to 40 feet high and has a spread of 20 to 35 feet. These trees bloom in the spring and are characterized by groups of small, white, bell-shaped flowers. The Carolina silverbell has a reddish-brown bark and also produces a four-winged, brownish, nut-like fruit in the fall that persists through the winter. All of these trees will not only work to provide beauty throughout our community, but they will stand as another positive step forward that we have made for the preservation of our natural environment and habitat. Through the City of Rocky Mount's membership in the American Public Power Association's Tree Power Program, we plant and maintain more trees now than any other time in the city's history. Since the inception of this program in 1991, we have planted over 63,400 trees in the city and have given away nearly 55,000 tree seedlings to our residents. The City Council appointed a tree advisory board to oversee the Tree Power Program and the city's tree ordinance. We sincerely appreciate the service these citizens give to making our community more green and beautiful. The work done by the Tree Initiative has already accomplished great achievements, and the benefit of the program can be seen upon all aspects of the community. In cooperation with the area organizations, such as the Tree Power Board and Keep American Beautiful, the City of Rocky Mount is working to leave a lasting legacy of environmental stewardship for generations to come. Thank you very much.
And again, I just want to reiterate our thanks. And when Tamika came up and she introduced herself and introduced all the participants, she talked about energy. And this is what I want everybody to do. I want everybody to just stand up and let's continue this energy. I want to hear you. Everybody give yourselves a hand. Give it up, give it up, give it up, give it up. All right. Let us continue that energy as we move forward, but even more importantly, beyond trees, I want to stress the importance of taking care of and being a good environmental steward. As you look in the news, you see about all types of environmental occurrences that take place, and you shouldn't take them lightly. The mayor mentioned in his opening comments about how you can travel in the Midwest and not see any trees or greenery. Even you go to other cities in other countries, and you can't even look down from that airplane and see anything until you hit the ground because of the pollution that's in that area. So don't take for granted the state, the area, and the city that you live in, and take this stewardship forward as you move forward in your lives. Again, thank you to everybody that has participated. And again, one more time, I like the noise. Let's do it. Thank you. Thank you all.